Hi there curry fans, it's Julian and we have another delicious curry recipe for you. What have we got for you this week? We've got another delicious spicy fish curry recipe. I've had loads of requests for fish curries and I haven't done too many in the past, hence I'm seeking to remedy that. Now when you consider that Bangladesh and India, large parts of India, eat more fish than they do meat, we certainly wouldn't be doing this channel justice if we didn't cover fish curries. Hence I'm going to do a series of delicious fish curries. Last time I did a salmon with black mustard seed and coconut curry, which was absolutely delicious. If you've not seen that video, check that out in my video section. You really want to make that recipe because it absolutely is delicious. I've got an equally delicious curry recipe for you this week. It's a monkfish curry in a madras style spicy sauce, which I think you're going to absolutely love, with a few little secret ingredients that just make this curry taste sublime. So we'll go in the kitchen in just a moment and we're going to see what ingredients we're going to need. So follow me into the kitchen. Okay, so our first ingredient for this curry is monkfish, and monkfish is an ideal fish for fish curry because it's nice and firm. So if you like a little bit more of a meaty sort of texture to your fish curries, you will like the monkfish curry. It's a nice fresh taste and as I say, it holds up well in the pan so it won't go all flaky and fall to bits. Now what we're going to do with our monkfish before we actually cook it, because we're going to pre-cook this before we add it to our curry, we're just going to add a little bit of spice for a marinade. So we've just got about half a teaspoonful of chili powder. We've got half a teaspoonful of turmeric powder, and we've got a really good generous crack of the old black pepper, which we're going to cover our fish in. There we go. And we're just going to mix that fish in the spices. And you don't need to marinate this for a long time. If you just marinated this, once you've done this, in the fridge for 2 or 3 hours, that would be sufficient. You don't need to leave it overnight or anything like that. It just adds a nice flavour into our fish and a nice colour as well. So we're going to leave that for 2 or 3 hours, then we'll come back and cook it off. Okay, so for our spice platter, we'll show you the spices that we're going to use in this fish curry. We've got 2 heaped teaspoonfuls of mix powder. Again, if you're not sure about what mix powder is, type MIX powder into the search bar on my channel and you'll see a recipe for that. We have a teaspoonful of panj puran. Mentioned that in my last video, works really well with fish curries. That's like a whole spice blend mixture, including fenugreek and fennel and cumin and black mustard seeds, all sorts in there. Delicious, really works well in fish. We have a teaspoonful of chili powder, not extra hot, just regular chili powder. We have a teaspoonful of turmeric. We've got a good heaped teaspoonful of good quality paprika. We've got about a tablespoon, a bit more, of dried curry leaves. These work really well again in fish. We've got a teaspoonful of garam masala. We've got a few pieces of stick cinnamon, and we've got 2 black cardamom. These you want to crack the husks before we put them in the pan so that they release their flavour. And then we've got some whole coarsely ground black pepper. Again, this will work really well in this spicy curry, and we've not ground it to a fine powder. As I say, it's coarsely ground. And then we've got just short of a teaspoonful of sea salt. And we've got here some garlic and ginger paste. We're going to use about 1.5 tablespoons of our garlic and ginger paste. This is very easy to make. If you want the recipe for this, type in garlic and ginger paste into the search bar on my channel and you'll find a recipe for that. And we've got 5 delicious ripe juicy tomatoes which we've roughly chopped. Now I always stress, get the reddest possible, softest tomatoes you can so that you get a lovely sweet delicious tomatoey flavour to your curry. And because this is a madras style fish curry, we've got some fresh green chilies. Now what we've got here are 6 Asian style chilies. They're known as Asian chilies in the Asian wholesalers. Now when you go there, you'll see lots of varieties of chilies. You'll see the rocket chilies, which are smaller. I'll just show you one of the Asian chilies. This is an Asian chili here. It's not too small, it's not too big. It's not as big as the Kenyan style chili pepper, which are not as hot. These are sort of sit in the middle. The rocket chilies that are smaller tend to be hotter. You've then got they're known as finger chilies, which you'll get from your likes of, you know, your big supermarkets. They're very similar to the Asian chili as well. So they're full of flavour, they're not overpoweringly hot, but they do have heat, and that's what we're looking for. We've got 6 in there for our madras style curry. Again, if you don't want it too hot, just remove the seeds. And we've got some fresh lemon to add in at the end to get that madras sour taste. We're using fresh lemon, no lemon, squirty lemon in this recipe. We're going to use about 2 tablespoonfuls of freshly squeezed lemon. And we've got 1 medium to large green pepper, finely diced. We've also got 1 very large red onion that's also been finely diced. And we've got about 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and this is a low amount because don't forget we've got the oil from the monkfish that we sealed and fried off a little bit earlier, so we're going to use that along with the fish juices in the curry too. And where would a spicy curry be without fresh coriander? We've got a generous handful of roughly chopped coriander. Okay, so in our pan we've got 2 tablespoonfuls of extra virgin olive oil, just so that we can lightly fry off our monkfish. You don't need to fry this off for very long. 2 to 3 minutes will do. You just want to make sure it's sealed on all sides, so separate the pieces in the pan. And just cook those for probably about 2 minutes, and we'll turn it over and cook the other side. You don't want it to go too brown, you just really want to seal it in the pan. So we'll come back to that and show you when we turn the monkfish over. Okay, so less than 2 minutes, we're just going to have a look at our monkfish, and if you have a look at that, I'll just turn it over. You can just see that it's just starting to seal. As I say, we're not looking to cook it through thoroughly. It will cook in the curry. We're just sort of pan frying it to seal it. And as you can see from this monkfish, we've cut it into rather large chunks. And there's enough here. We're making this curry, the recipe for this curry is for 2 portions. But it's nice with this fish to have nice, decent bite-sized pieces rather than smaller pieces. And it will hold up better as well in the pan. So that's coming on nicely. We'll cook that, as I say, it's going to be about 3 minutes in total, so maybe another 1.5 minutes now on that side, and that will have sealed our monkfish. Then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the monkfish from the pan, perhaps put it on some kitchen paper to drain it, but we'll keep the oil and the juices in the pan because we're going to use those in our curry. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do into our hot oil is put our curry leaves, our cinnamon, our panj param, and we're going to add in our black cardamom. And as I said, we just crack the husks of these and just drop them in. And they taste absolutely amazing. Just 1 or 2 of these added in to a spicy curry just adds such a delicious, light, woody, earthy spice to the dish. So we're just going to cook those whole spices for about 2 minutes just to infuse into the oil, then we'll add in our onion. Okay, we can add in our onions. and we're looking to get these onions nice and browned, so that they form a nice thick gravy. The softer your onions are, the more they're cooked, the better the gravy that you'll get from your curry, and that's what we want here. And we want that nice sweet flavour, that background flavour that comes from caramelised onions. So we'll come back to these onions when we've cooked them sufficiently. I would imagine it's going to take us about 6 to 8 minutes, but we'll see and come back in just a short while. Okay, so it's about 8-9 minutes and our onions are just starting to go nice and soft and a little bit sticky, which indicates they're done. So now we're going to go in with our chili pepper and green pepper, but before we do that, we're going to add the oil and the fish stock from the monkfish. And again, we want to soften these green pepper and chilies, because they're going to add a lovely flavour. It's going to make a really nice gravy. Green peppers are really good for adding flavour to curries, particularly if you cook them till soft and allow them to sort of become like mulch really. So that's going to add great flavour to our curry. We'll leave that probably for another 5 or 6 minutes just to soften the peppers, and then we'll go in with the garlic and ginger. So now that our garlic and ginger is fried off, we're adding in our spices. So we've added in our mixed powder, turmeric, paprika, chilli and black pepper and salt. We're adding in there the garam masala, we'll leave to the end. And you just want to turn these spices in just to cook them off. You want to cook them off for about a minute, minute and a half. And you'll smell those spices when you know that they're nicely cooked. And in with our tomatoes. So we're going to mix this all together, and we're going to allow this to cook down now into a nice thick sauce. We will be adding some water to get to the right consistency, and then we'll add in the fish and finish off the curry. So we'll come back when this is cooked down to where we want it to be. Okay, it's taken about 8 to 10 minutes to get our peppers and tomatoes nice and soft, and as yet we've added no water to this, but we're going to add some now. We're going to add, now this is to your preference depending on how thick or how thin you want the sauce, but I would just add in about half a cup to start with of boiling water. Don't add cold water because you'll halt the cooking process. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our monkfish into our sauce, and we're going to cook this, because you want to make sure with the monkfish it is thoroughly cooked, because remember we only sealed it. We're going to cook this for probably about another 10 to 15 minutes. We'll test it after 10 minutes and just see where it is, and then we'll just do the finishing touches to the curry. But already it's looking and smelling absolutely fantastic. So we'll come back in just about 10 minutes. So we'll come back about 10 minutes later. You want to leave it at least that. I did forget to mention in the last shot, you do want to put a lid on your pan just to stop all the liquid evaporating and making the sauce that too thick. Really, you don't want it too thick. So we'll take that off. Our sauce is looking good, nice and thick. It's looking great, that. And now what we're just going to do is we're just going to test that the monkfish is nice and tender and cooked all the way through, which, looking at that, it is. That's about perfect. Nice and white all the way through, and it cuts in very, very easily. Now what we're going to do, as we finish off the curry, we're going to add half of our good handful of fresh coriander in. We're going to cook that in, and then the other half we'll add as a garnish, or just less than half. We're going to add in our lemon juice, about 2 tablespoonfuls of fresh lemon juice. And then finally, well, not finally actually, but one of our finishing spices was our garam masala. That goes in. And then our other ingredient, which will add incredible flavour to this curry, is 1 teaspoon of Mr. Naga. Now, just one level. You don't want a heaped teaspoonful. You don't want to get carried away. With things like condiments like this, we can be tempted to put more in, thinking it will make it taste nicer. It will just overpower it. A teaspoonful is all you need, and you'll be amazed how great this tastes with the Naga in there. So let's just turn all that in together. We're cooking on about medium heat as we've just been thickening that up, so we'll just turn it up a little bit more, just to 6, and that is looking delicious and very much like a madras curry. Now what you want to do at this stage is just taste it and check for seasoning. Wow, that tastes amazing. That is so full of flavour. You really are going to love this. That's great. That's just enough salt for me. I tend to keep the salt on low. When you're using spices, you don't need to use as much salt, in my opinion. I find that often in Asian cuisine, across the board, they use far too much salt, and we all know that too much salt is not good for us. So I've just kept it at that, but you'll have to adjust that to your taste buds. I found in my own sort of eating habits that the less salt I've used, the more I've got used to it, and I don't need as much salt, and that's always good advice. So we're almost there. We're just going to simmer this down now on a low. Take that right down, put the lid back on. We're just going to give that another couple of minutes, and that will be done. There we have it, our delicious Madras style monkfish curry. As I say, just finish it off with some more of the fresh coriander, as much or as little as you like, but it certainly adds a lovely flavour, particularly the stalks, and also makes the curry look absolutely delicious. Now, thanks for watching this video. If you like videos like this, give me a thumbs up. We're going to aim to do lots of different varieties of curries, fish curry, veg curries, BIR style curries. We'll come back to that as well. Any curries that you fancy, starters, side orders, accompaniments, anything you like, just leave a little request in the comments below. I'll do my best to add it to the list of curries that I've got planned. You might have noticed, as I mentioned before, we're changing the name of this channel. It's now called Curry Secrets, so we have a new name to this channel. It's in line with our website. If you'd like to visit our website for more information, more recipes, more videos, then just check out the link below. I also have ebooks. I have 2 ebooks entitled The Secret to That Takeaway Curry Taste. These ebooks give you all the insider know-how, secrets, tips, methodology of cooking restaurant and takeaway style curry. If you would like to find out how to cook your favourite restaurant style curries, whether that be lamb madras, chicken tikka masala, boona, rogan josh, or any of those, then check out my ebooks. They come with numerous videos that are not available to the public on this channel, so they're like how-to videos. There are numerous recipes and key secret ingredients that are essential really to be able to replicate that curry house taste, which many people try but can't quite achieve. If you want to know exactly how to do that, check out my ebooks. So thanks for watching. If it's the first time you found this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, as I said, give me a thumbs up. Any comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching.